If you're planning to take your own car on your driving test, do not go there until you've watched this video. One of the things you want to check before you take your own car on your test is the car tires. Make sure there's no nails, no screws, no cuts, and the tires have got sufficient tread depth on them. If they are too smooth or they've got any nails in there and the examiner sees that, they're not going to take you out on a test. You also want to make sure that they've got the right air pressure in there. So before you go, make sure you got enough air in there. Otherwise, you don't want to start the test and then the alarm goes off in your car telling the examiner that you haven't got enough air in your tires. That's not going to be safe, and the examiner won't take you for the test. So make sure that you have enough air in your tires. Go somewhere like a petrol station where they've got pressure gauges and they've got air pumps. You can pump your tire there nicely, and it's quite easy to do. What I would recommend as well is bring a spare tire. Make sure you got a spare tire with you in the back of your car, because there's been so many times where I've gone for a test and on the way there I've picked up a nail or I've picked up a puncture, and we were able to change the tire before the test. That saved the whole test. Otherwise we couldn't have gone ahead with the test. Tests get cancelled because of brake light failure. So your brake lights can go at any moment. Sometimes you'll be on your way to the test center and then they stop working. But you should check them before you leave your house to go to the test, and then check them again before you start your test, because I've been in a situation where I've checked them before and then on the way there something's happened and then the light stopped working and the examiner has seen it. Luckily for us, we had a spare bulb which we could change, which is what I recommend you should do as well. If you can, if you know how to change your light bulbs, you should bring a set of spare ones. Bring a brake light and bring an indicator light as well, so that you can change them if you need to. This will save your test. It'll be so stressful if your test gets cancelled because of one bulb, but if you can change it, that'll be fine. If they find out your bulb is gone before you start your test, just before you start your test, usually the examiners will give you about 5 minutes. So that's what I'm saying to you about making sure you know how to do it so that you can do it quickly. Because if you take too long, they'll just say, you know what, the test is cancelled, and you lose your fee, and you're not going to get another test for a long time, because you know how the waiting list is nowadays. If you are not an international license holder, you need to take somebody with you who is at least 21 years old, who's had a driving license for at least 3 years, and who's also insured to be in that car with you. Now, some people have been caught out on a test without insurance or tax. It's really important that your car is insured for the driving test, and also that it's taxed. It's easy to check if your car is taxed or not. So make sure you do that before you go for your test, and make sure that it's taxed before you go there. And there are lots of insurance providers who will cover you for the day for your driving test. So you can just search for them online, search for driving test insurance, and you can find them easily, and you can pay a small fee which would then cover you for the day, and you don't have to worry about, whether your car's insured or not for that driving test. There are some cars that you're not allowed to take on a driving test, and these include cars that have been recalled and some certain types of cars like convertible cars. There's a list of cars that you can't take. I'm going to put the website on the screen now so you can see where to find this list. I'm going to put the link in the description as well, and when you're there, make sure you check out the other links for the other stuff that I'm going to mention in the video. Most instructors will have this, something like this, but you can just go and buy something like this one. This is like, I bought this from I think it was Halfords or even Amazon. If you go without them to the tests, your test might still go ahead, but there's a chance that it might not. You will also need one of these little mirrors here. This comes off. This is for the examiner to use, and sometimes they'll have their own one, but they like you to bring your own one as well. And because if they don't have a spare one, they might be a bit funny about it. The test might not go ahead. So just be on the safe side. Get one of these. I think you can get them from Amazon as well, quite cheap. On your dashboard, make sure there are no warning lights, especially no engine warning lights. So start the engine up. If there are any engine warning lights, the test won't go ahead, unfortunately. So make sure there's none there. You see there, my car's got quite a lot of fuel in it right now, nearly a full tank. So before you go for your test, make sure there's enough fuel in there. You don't want any alarms going off telling the examiner that you haven't got enough fuel, because then the test might get stopped or you might not even go on the test. So make sure you go to a petrol station before you go to the test, get the fuel, and then smash the test. So if you're taking your car on your driving test, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.